Are you ready for some bedtime stories? Bernard and I have picked out some fun ones, and we're going to start off with one that's about a bear. This is called Mom, There's a Bear at the Door. It's written by Sabine Lipan with illustrations by Manuela Olton, and it's published by Eerdmans Books for Young Readers. That's the bear. Mom, there's a bear at the door. A bear? A bear. But we live on the 11th floor. That's why he's there. Well, how did the bear get up here? He took the elevator. The elevator? The elevator. The bear pressed the button and took the elevator? Of course. The elevator doesn't work if no one presses the button. How did the bear get to the city? He took the bus. How else? He took the bus? He took the bus. The bear had a ticket. He probably bought one. The bear bought a ticket. Well, he's not allowed to get on the bus without a ticket, so he must have bought one. And how did the bear get to the bus stop? He rode his bicycle. His bicycle? His bicycle. The bear has a bicycle? He has to have one if he rode it. The bear can ride a bicycle? Well, otherwise he couldn't have gotten from the forest to the bus stop. The bear came from the forest. Well, all bears come from the forest. This one too? This one too. And where is there a forest in the middle of the city? Well, there has to be one, otherwise the bear wouldn't have come here. And what does the bear want here on our 11th floor? To look at the sea. At the sea? At the sea. The bear from the forest wants to look out at the sea here in the middle of the city. He can't see it from the thick of forest. Well, how will he look at it from here? Through the window. How else? And when he has seen the sea, he'll leave? Not until he's had lunch. Well, what does a bear eat exactly? Black forest cake and honey cake. Black forest cake, black forest cake, and honey cake. Yes, both. There's nobody to bake for him in the forest. And then when he has seen the sea and eaten the black forest cake and the honey cake, then he'll go back to his forest? Exactly. First he'll take the elevator down. First he'll take the elevator down. And then he'll take the bus to the edge of the forest. Then he'll take the bus to the edge of the forest. And then he'll ride his bike back to his cave. Then he'll ride his bike back to his cave. And then, well, then he'll go to sleep, of course. The bear will be tired after such a long day. There they go. What would you do if you had a bear show up at your door? He was very nice, wasn't he? Both the bear and the boy. Well, there were 5 great big bears who were jumping on the bed. When one fell off, well, he bumped his head. Now his mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more big bears jumping on the bed. So 4 big bears were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. His mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more big bears jumping on the bed. So 3 big bears were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more big bears jumping on the bed. Two big bears were jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more big bears jumping on the bed. So that leaves one big bear who was jumping on the bed. When she fell off, well, she bumped her head. Her mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more big bears jumping on the bed. Well, Bernard thought we might like to have another bear story, and this is called Bear Counts. It's written by Karma Wilson and illustrated by Jane Chapman, and is published by Margaret K. McElderry Books. Mouse and Bear share breakfast. There's Mouse. There's Bear. Basking in the morning sun, Bear looks up and points, and then the bear counts. One sun floating high, one giant dragonfly, one robin on her nest, only one berry left. Numbers, numbers everywhere. Can you count along with Bear? One. Mouse and Bear see Hare, and Hare calls out, howdy do? He's holding up some yummy fruit, and Bear counts. Two paws which hold a treat, two apples crisp and sweet, two stumps for perfect chairs, two friends who love to share. Numbers, numbers everywhere. Can you count along with Bear? 1, 2. Bear hears funny sounds coming from an aspen tree. It's raven, owl, and wren, and the bear counts 3. 3 chums who chitter-chat, 3 funny muskrats, 3 clouds above the trees, 3 bumbling bumblebees. Numbers, numbers everywhere. Can you count along with Bear? 1, 2, 3. Bear cries, look, it's Badger, Mole, and Gopher by the shore. Badger has his fishing pole, and Bear counts 4. 4 fish splish and splash, 4 geese waddle past, 4 turtles on a log, 4 croaking, hopping frogs. Numbers, numbers everywhere. Can you count along with Bear? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mouse squeaks, let's go swimming. And in the pond they dive. The friends float in the pond, and the bear counts 5. 5 ducks in the water, 5 lively river otters, 5 lovely lily pads, 5 pinching crawdads. Numbers, numbers everywhere. Now you can count just like Bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can count all the animals that he counted when you borrow this book from the library. Well, let's do a finger play about, a turtle. Can you make a fist with your hand like that? Because there were some turtles in that story. I have a little turtle. He lives in a box. He swims in the puddles and he climbs on rocks. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow, and he snapped at me. Why, he caught the mosquito. He caught the flea. He caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. Our next story is about a very grumpy monkey. I think we've had some stories about this monkey before, but this time he's going to be up all night. This is written by Suzanne Lang and illustrated by her husband, Max Lang, and it's published by Random House. Early in the evening, just about supper time, Norman heard a whole lot of whooping and hollering next door. "What's the ruckus?" Norman asked his neighbor, Jim Pansy. "I'm so excited," Jim exclaimed. "I'm going to a sleepover at my parents' house. My whole family will be there. Mom and Dad and my sisters, my big sisters, Ann and Nan." "Well, who's that?" asked Norman. "Oh, yeah, my little brother Tim," grumbled Jim. "But never mind, it'll still be fun." "Sleepovers are a good time," Norman agreed. Jim talked about all the great things he would do. "First, we'll go termite fishing. Then we'll have scary stories. And we'll have a midnight feast, and we'll wash it down with some jungle punch." "I wouldn't drink punch too close to bedtime," Norman advised. "Bedtime?" exclaimed Jim. "Nobody sleeps at a sleepover. We're going to stay up all night." "Sounds fun," said Norman. "May I tag along?" Well, a little later, they arrived at the tree where Jim's parents lived. "It's my little grumpy monkey," Jim's mom cried as she gave him a big hug. "I'm so happy to see you." "Mom," moaned Jim, "I'm not little, and I'm not a monkey. I'm an ape." Jim's mom smiled and ruffled his fur. "But you sure are grumpy," she said. "No, I'm not," Jim scowled. "I like your mom," said Norman. "No fair. You didn't say we could bring a friend," said a voice coming down the path. "Who's that?" asked Norman. "Tim!" exclaimed Jim's family. "I thought you said he was your little brother," said Norman. "I had a growth spurt," said Tim. "Well, what should we do first?" asked Jim's mom. Everyone answered at once. "Termite fishing, pick fleas off each other, bob for mangoes." "I know," said Tim. "Measure each other to see who's tallest." "Maybe our guests should choose," suggested Jim's dad, turning to Norman. It's a tough decision," said Norman. "It all sounds like fun." "Don't worry," said Anne. "There'll be plenty of time to do everything because we're going to stay up all night," cheered Jim and his siblings. "I don't know," said Jim's mom. "Staying up all night could make for some very grumpy monkeys." Well, then the games began. There was termite fishing and flea picking, bobbing for mangoes, scary stories. "It was a dark and stormy night," said Jim, and Tim trembled. "Oh, your brother's scared," said Jim's mom. "Why not tell a happy story instead?" They had their midnight feast. "Hey, you have to share the jungle punch." "You didn't share the bananas." Brothers. Well, they stayed up all night. "It's really dark," said Tim, looking around. "Because it's night," snapped Jim. "Are you grumpy?" asked Tim. "No," said Jim. Well, just then they heard a noise. Rah! "Thunder!" shouted Tim, and his eyes went wide. "Oh no, now it's dark and stormy." "Don't worry," said Jim. "It's just Norman snoring. He does lots of funny snores. Sometimes he sounds like rah, 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 rah. And sometimes it sounds like Tim laughed. Other times it's like ha-wee, ha-wee. Jim and Tim laughed and laughed all night long. "Shoo," said Norman. Well, as the sun came up, Tim fell asleep. "Good idea, little brother," said Jim as he tucked Tim in and lay down. But just as he was about to close his eyes. "Good morning, my monkeys," sang Jim's mom. "Mom," shouted Jim, "we're not monkeys, we're apes." "I prefer gorilla, but yeah, ape works," said Norman. "Oh, Jim, I told you staying up all night would make you grumpy," said Jim's mom, ruffling his fur. "I'm not." "You'll always be my little grumpy monkey," whispered Jim's mom. Shh, Jim's asleep. Well, the itsy-bitsy monkey climbed up the coconut tree. Down came a coconut and it bopped him on the knee. Along came his mommy who kissed away the pain. Then the itsy-bitsy monkey climbed up the tree again. Shoo! Should we do it again? Let's. The itsy-bitsy monkey climbed up the coconut tree. Down came a coconut and it bopped him on the knee. Along came his mommy who kissed away the pain. Then the itsy-bitsy monkey climbed up the tree again. And remember, go way up to the top and then slide on down. Our next book is called The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. It's adapted from an Aesop fable by Janet Stevens, and she did the illustrations as well. And it's published by Holiday House. There they are, the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. Once upon a time, there was a town mouse and a country mouse. They were cousins. The country mouse lived in a barn. He got up at sunrise and worked hard all day. The town mouse lived in a fancy apartment building. She ate breakfast in bed and was very lazy. One day, the town mouse went to visit her cousin in the country. She swished through the door and flung herself down on the couch. "Oh, what a tiring trip," she said. "I'm exhausted and hungry. Where's lunch?" "Let me take you to the cow," answered her cousin. When they reached the cow, the town mouse said, "What does the cow have to do with lunch?" "We're having milk for lunch," said her cousin. "Ooh, milk? I don't drink milk," said the town mouse. "Well then, how about some vegetables?" said her cousin. The country mouse took the town mouse to the garden. "You expect me to eat these vegetables raw?" asked the town mouse, turning up her nose. "Well, maybe you'd like some bacon and beans from the cat's dish instead," said her cousin. "From the cat's dish? Oh, how disgusting," sniffed the town mouse. "Let's forget about lunch. Is there anything fun to do around here?" "We can float down the stream on a leaf and look at the scenery," said her cousin. "Only if I don't get my feet wet," said the town mouse. As they floated gently past the shore, the town mouse complained, "This is boring. Take me ashore." The country mouse tried to think of what would please his cousin. "I've got it," he cried. "Well, let's pull the pig's tail and see if it grunts." The town mouse took one look at the pig's tail and wrinkled her nose. "I'm not touching that. What else can we do?" "We can sit by the road and wait for a car to go by," suggested the country mouse. "Only if I don't get my tail dirty," said his cousin. Well, they sat, and they sat, and they sat, and nothing happened. "This life is too slow for me," declared the town mouse. "I'm going home. Why don't you come with me? I'll show you how I live, and then you'll see what a good life is like." So the town mouse took the country mouse to the city, and when they arrived, the country mouse looked up. "Where are all the trees?" he asked. "We don't have many trees. We have tall buildings instead," said the town mouse. "I'll take you up to the top of one." So they climbed and they climbed and they climbed, and finally they reached the top. The country mouse looked down at the street below and said, "Oh, I feel dizzy." "I know what will make you feel better," said his cousin. "Eating. I'll take you home for dinner." They rode the elevator down to the first floor and scurried out to the sidewalk. The country mouse saw feet everywhere. "Help! I'll be crushed!" he cried. "Oh, don't be silly," said his cousin. "Just keep moving." They scampered into the apartment building where the town mouse lived. "Watch out for the mousetrap in the lobby," she warned. "What's a mousetrap?" asked the country mouse. "Oh, you don't want to know. Just don't touch it," said his cousin. "But that cheese looks good," said the country mouse. "Not as good as what's waiting for us upstairs," said his cousin. The town mouse took the country mouse to her apartment, and in the dining room they found the remains of a scrumptious dinner party. "Wow!" exclaimed the town mouse. "Let's start eating." So the two mice gobbled up cakes and cookies and ice cream and pies. The country mouse had never tasted anything so good. "Oh, my tummy hurts," he groaned. "Eat this chocolate. You'll feel better," said his cousin. Suddenly, the two mice heard growling and snarling. The country mouse jumped. "What's that?" "Oh, it's only the watchdogs who live here," said the town mouse. "Do watchdogs eat mice?" asked her cousin. "Sometimes," said the town mouse. "You have to be quick to get away." Just at that moment, the door flew open and two huge dogs came bounding in. The country mouse shrieked and fell into the blueberry pie. "Oh, I'm getting out of here," he squealed, and he scrambled out of the pie and ran towards the door. "Are you going so soon?" asked the town mouse. "Yes," squealed her cousin, and he headed for home as fast as he could. When the country mouse got back to his barn, he breathed a sigh of relief. "I've learned an important lesson," he said to himself. "It's better to have beans and bacon in peace than cakes and pies in fear." And I have a feeling he's not going to go back to visit his cousin anytime soon. Well, can you put your hand up like it's a big grandfather clock and put a mouse at your elbow? Hickory-dickory-dock, the mouse went up the clock. The clock struck 1, and the mouse ran down. Hickory-dickory-dock. Well, we've got one more book before a flannel board in our final story. And this is called Arlo, the Lion Who Couldn't Sleep. This is written and illustrated by Rayner and is published by Peachtree. Arlo was a very tired lion. He had tried everything, but he could not get to sleep. The grass was too prickly, and the earth was too hard. The trees were too noisy, but the desert too quiet. The sun was too hot, but the night was too cold. His family was warm, but they wriggled too much. Everybody knows that lions need a lot of sleep, and Arlo was exhausted. "Will I ever sleep again?" Arlo sighed. But Arlo wasn't the only one who was awake. "Of course you will," said a voice from above. "I sleep through the day when it's bright and noisy and hot. Shall I tell you how?" And the owl began to sing. "Think about the places where you'd like to be, the things that you do there and what you might see. Relax your whole body, slow your breathing right down. Imagine you're sinking into the soft ground. As you fall into calmness so comfortable and deep, your mind will rest and you'll drift off to sleep." So Arlo stretched and wriggled and tried to relax while Owl sang her song once more. Arlo thought about the places he would like to go and see. He imagined bounding up the mountains and wading in the rivers and climbing enormous trees. And then Arlo imagined he might need a rest, so he pictured himself cuddled up with his cozy, snoring family. And before he knew it, he was sleeping too. Arlo woke up feeling the sun on his coat. Why, he'd been asleep for hours and felt happy, fresh, and full of energy. He couldn't wait to tell Owl. "Little Owl," roared Arlo, "I slept! Hooray!" "Oh, well done," came a tired voice from above. but now you've woken me up." "I'm sorry," said Arlo. "Shall I sing your song to you?" Owl nodded her tired head, and Arlo began to sing. And while he sang, Owl thought of the places she would like to go and see. She imagined flying over waters, soaring high up and fast, and gliding through the wild forests. And before she knew it, Owl felt starlight on her feathers. She had slept through the day and felt wonderful and rested. "Hooray!" Owl and Arlo cheered. "We're pleased you've slept, but now you've woken all of us up," the grumpy pride grumbled together. "Oh, sorry," said Arlo. "But we know what to do," tooted Owl, and then Arlo and Owl sang together. "Think about the places where you'd like to be, the things that you do there and what you might see. Relax your whole body, slow your breathing right down. Imagine you're sinking into the soft ground. As you fall into calmness so comfortable and deep, your mind will rest and you'll drift off to sleep." And before long, everyone was asleep, including Arlo. Everyone, that is, except Owl, who spread her wings and flew silently into the long, quiet night. Well, I'm pretty sure it's time for you to find that bubble gum. Bring it on out, unwrap it, and pop it in your mouth. Chew it up, and then you'll know what we're going to do. Something disgusting. Ready? Go. And then spit it in your hand. 1, 2, 3. And clap your hand on top. And we've got sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your chin. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your back. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your nose. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your arm. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your cheek. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your knee. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on mom or dad. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, stick it on your toe. On stick. Sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum, sticky, sticky bubble gum. Time to throw it in the trash. And it's also time for a flannel board story. It's actually going to be a song, and I bet you'll be able to sing along with me. Well, a-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a fox and put him in a box, and then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a mouse and put him in a house, and then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a goat and put him in a boat, and then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a pig and put it in a wig, and then we'll let it go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a fish and put it in a dish, and then we'll let it go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a snake and put it in a cake, and then we'll let it go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a whale and put him in a pail. I don't think he's gonna fit. And then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a sheep and put it in a jeep, and then we'll let it go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a skunk and put him in a bunk. Whoop. Even the bunk doesn't want to stay near him. And then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll catch a bear and put him in underwear, and then we'll let him go. A-hunting we will go, a-hunting we will go. We'll just pretend, and in the end, we'll always let them go. Well, speaking of going, it's time for our Going to Bed book by Sandra Boynton, and this is published by Little Simon. The sun has set not long ago. Now everybody goes below to take a bath in one big tub with soap all over. Scrub, scrub, scrub. They hang their towels on the wall and find pajamas big and small. And with some on top and some beneath, they brush and brush and brush their teeth. And when the moon is on the rise, they all go up to exercise. And down once more, but not so fast. They're on their way to bed at last. The day is done. They say goodnight, and somebody turns off the light. The moon is high, the sea is deep, and they rock and rock and rock to sleep. So thank you for joining us for our bedtime stories. Bernard and I say good night, and we hope we'll see you again another time. See you then.